We've seen the trouble that have been caused by, just a few men on the ground here in Yemen, what they've been able to achieve. Just imagine what would happen if the Khilafah was established and the Muslim lands were united as one, and their armies, their military forces were combined, and a real leader was to rise, one which held the interest of the Muslims as a top priority. What would happen then? A leader like Sultan Abdul Hamid, who during his reign there was a play in France which was going to mock the Prophet ﷺ. So he summoned the French ambassador and he said to him, a Muslim is ready to die for the love of his Prophet. I am the Sultan of the Balkans, of Iraq, of Syria, Lebanon, Hijaz, the Caucasus, and Anatolia. I am the Khalifa of Islam, Abdul Hamid. I will collapse your world around you if you don't stop that play. This was a real leader. This is what the Khalifa of the Muslims would do. This is what you would expect. Not these treacherous traitor rulers that have been placed in positions of leadership over our people by these artificial borders which were drawn up by the Sykes-Picot Agreement by the hands of the colonialists, who serve only the interests of their colonial masters, who don't serve the Muslims at all. And even from Islam, we know, as our Prophet ﷺ, he said about the Khalifa, he said about the Imam, he says, and as narrated by Abu Huraira, he says, إِنَّمَا الْإِمَامُ جُنَّةٌ يُقَاتَلُ مَنْ وَرَائِهِ. Very the leader, the Imam, is only a shield behind whom they fight, and he protects them. And today we see the chaos that's been caused in the world when we don't have the Khalifa. We have, our Muslims are being killed, slaughtered, left, right and centre, everywhere in the world. So this is what we need to do. We need to return back to the Khalifa. We need to establish the Khilafah. Only then will the military forces move. Only then will the armies move to liberate Palestine. And this is what's required. A state-level military occupation requires a state-level military intervention. This is how you remove the occupation. So just to give you a summary of what needs to happen, step by step. Number one, the Muslims need to re-establish the Khilafah. Once the Khilafah is established, the diplomatic means and the strategic strength can be used to weaken the Zionist entity, cut off their waterways, their airways, their natural resources, their oil, anything going in and out, stopped completely. No food goes in, no fuel goes in, nothing, no help, no weapons from America are able to enter into the territories. None of this is able to happen. If this doesn't collapse the Zionist entity, then the armies can move in and manually dismantle the Zionist entity. But that does not mean to say that we are going to hurt or kill the civilians, the Jewish civilians within the Zionist entity. It is not the tradition of the Muslims to be vengeful and take revenge. Like when our Prophet ﷺ, when he reconquered Mecca, and he said to them, "What do you think I will do to you today?" And they said that we have a good opinion about you. And he says that you are free today. And Salah ad-Din, when he reconquered Al-Quds and Jerusalem, he did not go in and slaughter the Christians, even after all of the bloodshed that they had caused. So it's not in our tradition to kill the Jews. Rather, they will be able to live as citizens, but what has been stolen from the Palestinians, from the Muslims, will be returned. The Zionist entity will be dismantled, manually if need be. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.